I've got a little bit of history for you tonight. Everyone is talking about let's expand the Supreme Court. Let me give you just a little bit of history of how we got to 9 justices. We have to start here with Article 3 in the Constitution. And Article 3 says, under Section 1, the judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court, and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. The judges, both of the Supreme and inferior courts, shall hold their offices during good behavior and shall, at stated times, receive for their services a compensation which shall not be diminished during their continuance in office. There you go. That's congressional authority to set out the Supreme Court justices and how many they are going to have. Throughout our history, we have had a number of different justices on the bench, from 5 to 10, depending on what era we were in. We had an act that was passed in 1789, very famous judicial act, and this established we would have 6 Supreme Court justices, and that seemed to work out just fine for the size of the United States at the time. Now, of course, we're going to have about 70 years, a little bit more than that, before the next major change happens with Congress regarding the number of justices. Now, those numbers again will go up and down in between during that period of time, but we had to wait until after the Civil War before we finally got another act in to establish a firm number of justices. And this is the Judiciary Act of 1869, and this was the last act passed to set out the number of justices to sit on the U.S. Supreme Court. And as you can see here from the language, we're setting out the Supreme Court Chief Justice of the United States and 8 associate justices. This again is an act that was passed by Congress in 1869, and we to this day have a total of 9 justices on the bench. So if you're wondering why we've got 9 justices and if we could change that, it's possible. Congress would have to come in and pass a law that would override the 1869 Judicial Act and establish a different number. So is it possible to change the number of justices? Yes, and it is up to Congress according to the Constitution. What are your thoughts? Do we need to expand the court? Do we need to keep it as it is and work with what we have? Or is it too big? Let me know in the comments down below.